coming at you live from Fantastic Fest. I think that's mostly straight. Hey there, creepy peeps. I am in a different, echoey, sorry about that, location because I'm at Fantastic Fest. Yay! And I'm here to see a whole bunch of awesome movies and talk about them, which is what we're gonna do today. From the title, you can see I'm gonna talk about Shelby Oaks, which I kind of made the choice that maybe was one that a lot of you guys were anticipating. So that's one, so I wanted to make sure I reviewed that one. Spoiler free, of course, because the movie is not released widely yet. I think it will be not next week, but the week after. I think 2 weeks from now. It's not that long of a time. So Shelby Oaks is directed by Chris Stuckman and is a found footage horror movie that follows Mia, whose younger sister, Riley, went missing 12 years ago while filming for her paranormal YouTube channel. After a man mysteriously shows up at Mia's door with a tape labeled Shelby Oaks, Mia watches and sees her sister's final moments, leading her to believe that she is still out there somewhere. So right off the bat, I really liked the mixed media. I'm calling it a found footage horror movie. It's like part found footage, part kind of mockumentary, and part just like regular, you know, third person POV camera. I appreciated that mix because while I do love found footage, it can be hit or miss for me sometimes. I like that paring it down with like the third person kind of allowed what's really great about found footage to shine in the movie, rather than risking the tropes and the tricks that we're used to with found footage feeling worn out and overdone by the end. And of course, that kind of eliminates that all too common moment when you're watching a found footage horror movie where you ask yourself, why don't they just drop the camera and run? I also like that one of our main characters, Riley, is a YouTuber. That's always fun to see in a movie, and an OG YouTuber at that. So the footage that we're looking at is a little bit grainy, a little bit older, which always adds a nice scary element. There's just something about found footage from the late 90s and like the aughts on those older cameras that just feels more real, way more creepy. I also really loved the way the film looked when it kind of starts to get into like the third person camera a bit more. Like everything kind of felt like a bit colder, especially with the colors, and that made the movie feel kind of sad, which really supports this storyline of this older sister whose younger sister has been missing for 12 years with no closure. So no body found, nothing like that. Which, speaking of the sibling element, I loved the sibling element. I feel like we don't get enough sibling stories, and that's always a fun relationship that I feel like isn't, just movies don't really touch on that much, but especially horror movies. So I really love that we have a story about siblings, and our main character is an older sister. And while I don't have a younger sister, and I know that is a very different kind of bond, I do have a younger sibling. I have a younger brother. So I feel like I could very much relate to Mia in that if my brother had been missing for so long and then I got a clue that he was out there somewhere, I would definitely go find him. I kind of felt like the characters also sat in a space where when it comes to Mia and Riley's relationship, we're really only kind of seeing it through Mia's eyes. And when something like this happens to like a sibling, or your sibling's going through something, especially as the older one, I feel like you feel a sort of responsibility for your younger brother, your younger sister, your younger sibling. And then there's definitely some regret that comes with that if you haven't been as close with them. All of that to say, I could really relate to Mia, and I enjoyed watching her story. And the actress who plays Mia, Camilla Sullivan, was awesome. I loved watching her performance. There were so many moments in the movie, and what she does is just so, it got to me so bad. There were like moments where she was like, you know, she was watching maybe a bit of the found footage, a bit of her sister, and then something scary would happen. The way she expressed her terror was this kind of like just frozen in terror, but like utterly kind of like shaking and starting to kind of like come apart, sobbing just a little bit, but not like too much. There were moments where she was doing that and it was getting to me so badly. Like, she was freaking me the fuck out just seeing how she reacted, which is an experience that I can't say I've really had in a horror movie before. Normally, like, you know, when I get scared, and I'm sure you guys can relate to, it's because we are also reacting to the scary thing that the character is seeing. And that's not to say what was happening in the movie wasn't scary, but I don't think it's often where I'm watching a horror movie and what the actor is doing, what the character is doing is what's like amping up my fear, because I can see how scared they are. And it was different than just outright screaming in terror at something, if that makes sense. The ending, don't worry, again, no spoilers. The ending was a little bit hit or miss for me. Everybody's reaction to like ultimately where the story ends up going is what I'm gonna be most looking forward to. Because when I came out of the movie, I was like kind of in a weird space with it where I was like, I can definitely tell I didn't hate it. And I can definitely tell that I didn't not like it. But I also don't think I loved it. I feel like you guys get me when I say that. Ambiguous is how I feel about it. I feel like after maybe I sit with it for a couple of days, I might feel differently. I saw the movie literally for the first time this morning, so I'm still kind of digesting everything. All I'll say is I definitely never mind when a movie leaves things ambiguous or leaves you with questions. I think that's a good thing. I only think it becomes an issue if it's like too many questions, or the type of question you kind of find yourself asking at the end. It all kind of depends, and I can't really vocalize the question I had at the end of the movie without, it would be like no context spoilers, but I'm still not gonna say it. The question that I ended up having at the end of the movie, I kind of just feel like, I don't know if that's the right question I should be asking at the end. I don't know if maybe I quite enjoyed that a certain part of the movie was kept ambiguous or at least maybe like some hints dropped or something. I'm unsure. But like I said, I'm very much looking forward to hearing everybody's reactions about the ending for this one. Or like the big like reveal, I guess I should say. Not quite like the ending, but like the reveal of what's going on and what happened to Riley. Overall, there's a lot of excitement for this movie. I think it is for good reason. I do think this is one to be excited about. I do think this is one to put on your watch list, to make a mental note to go see it when it comes out, especially for a directorial debut. For a debut, I thought it was really good, and it's one of those movies where it's like you watch it and it's like, maybe it's not perfect, but it's one where it's like, I can't wait to see what this filmmaker does next. If you're excited about Shelby Oaks, let me know in the comments. We can all discuss it more at length when the movie comes out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, stick around. I'll have another video on Tuesday covering a slightly different part of the festival. They're having a book fair on Monday, so I'm gonna go do that. Maybe do a little book haul, because you know I'm gonna buy too many books. My suitcase is gonna be so heavy. I'm already regretting it, and I know I know I could like change the future and don't buy as many books, but I know that's not going to happen, so I'm just rolling with it. And then after that, I will do a big giant like wrap up vlog of Fantastic Fest and talk about everything I saw, what were my favorite things I saw, what you should be most excited about, and just like the whole experience of going to Fantastic Fest for the first time, because it's a fucking whirlwind. So I will see you very soon with another video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.